In this video, we are going to learn about import and export. Exporting and importing are the most common mode of international business. Exporting and importing are one of the most fastest growing activities in the world. It is a good bet to claim that you have a decent idea of what import and export are about. Importing and exporting supports the development of national economies and extends the global market. But are you aware of its advantages and disadvantages? Let us have a look at them in the following slides. Importing and exporting are means of foreign trade. Foreign trade is carried out in goods and services, which includes imports, exports, and balance of foreign trade is represented separately for goods and for services. The total imports, exports, and balance of foreign trade are presented as summaries of goods and services. Imports consist of transactions in goods and services to a resident of a jurisdiction, such as a nation, from non-residents, like Indian company or Indian resident buying something from USA or from Russia. Importation is the action of buying or acquiring products or services from another country or another market other than own. Types of import: industrial and consumer goods, intermediate goods and services. Consumer goods are ready to be used, industrial goods are to be used in production. Intermediate goods and services are used as intermediaries and some value addition is to be done on it. Direct import. Direct import refers to a type of business importation involving a major retailer, example Walmart, and an overseas manufacturer. A retailer typically purchases products designed by local companies that can be manufactured overseas. There are two kinds of import, the direct import and the indirect import. Indirect import. Indirect import refers to a situation in which a company buys a product from someone in another country using an intermediary, a person or organization that arranges business agreements or a product that is bought in this way. Advantages. Importing raw material and goods is one of the paths of increasing the profit margins. There are a number of benefits in importing the goods, such as high quality, low prices, and benefits related to international trade. An importer can have the comparative advantage, which means lower prices. Also, the importer can have the much cheaper products from the foreign market due to low labor cost, low taxes, etc. In terms of quality, the importer can have the higher quality goods and produce the finished goods with high quality and extend the business profit margins. In some countries, government provide the support to the importer for developing the trade relation. Government provides the information of the manufacturers and producers in the foreign country so that the importer can purchase the high quality and low price. Challenges. There are many governments and economists who believe that importing goods have numerous disadvantages. For example, importing of goods could lead to erosion of the domestic markets and national economies, especially when there is trade deficit occurrence. The import is higher than the export, and still the a country is importing. It means a lot of foreign currency will flow out of the country. Some of the goods like cars, appliances lead a higher level of domestic automobile and electronic market and also loss of jobs in the respective markets. Some other problems can also be increased due to import of goods such as conflict in the domestic value due to acceptance of social values. The domestic industry can also be crippled due to import of the countries where the wages are low and the domestic industries are unable to compete since they cannot lower down their prices of goods than the cost of goods. Also, they have the obligation to the worker union. Import in India. You can have a look. Mineral fuels, oil and waxes. These consist 27%. Pearls, precious and semi-precious stones and jewelry 14%, electrical machinery and equipment 10%, nuclear reactor, boilers, machinery 8%, and organic chemicals it consists 4%. What are the procedures related to import? First of all, the trade inquiry. Second is procurement of import license. Third is obtaining foreign exchange. Fourth, placing order or indent. Fifth, obtaining letter of credit. Six is arranging for finance. Seven, receipt of shipment advice. Eight, retirement of import documents, arrival of goods, custom clearance and release of goods. Now let us have a look at the export. Exporting refers to sending of goods and services from home country to foreign country for their own purpose and need. There are two kinds of export process as well, the direct export and indirect export. Export, direct export. A firm itself approaches the overseas buyers and looks after all the formalities related to exporting. Exporting activities include those related to financing. Indirect export. Indirect export, in the other hand, is one where the firm's participation in the export operation is minimum and most of the tasks relating to export of the goods are carried out by some middleman, such as export houses or buying offices of overseas customers located in the home country. These firms do not deal directly with the overseas customers in case of exports. Advantages. What are the advantages of exports? First, increased sales and profits. Second, enhanced domestic competitiveness. Third, gain global market shares. Fourth, diversification. Fifth, lower price unit cost. Challenges: the cost. Second, product modification. Third, financial risk. Fourth, export licenses and documentation. Fifth, market information. What are the barriers? Trade barriers are government laws, regulation, policies, or practices that either protect domestic products from foreign competition or artificially stimulate exports of particular domestic products. While restrictive business practices sometimes have a similar effect, they are not usually regarded as trade barrier. The most common foreign trade barrier are government imposed measures and policies that restrict, prevent, or impede the international exchange of goods and services. Export procedure. First of all, confirmation of order. Second is getting export license. Third is finance, pre-shipment finance, production or procurement of goods, shipping space, packing and marketing, and quality control. Export in India. India is one of the largest textile exporter. Major agricultural products include rice, wheat, oilseed, cotton, jute, tea, sugarcane, and potatoes. Major industries include telecommunication, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, food processing, steel, transport equipment, cement, mining, petroleum, machinery, and software. Major export of India include petroleum products, textile goods, jewelry, software, engineering goods, chemicals, and leather manufacture. The top export partners of India are United States, the United Arab Emirates, China, Singapore, and the United Kingdom. In recent years, India has become one of the biggest refined product exporter in Asia, with petroleum accounting for around 20% of total exports. The pharmaceutical industry in India is among the significant emerging markets for global pharmacy industry. India has a growing automotive industry as well. India's top export oil, gems, metals, vehicles, machine, pumps, cereals. Share in world export, how does India compare? And you can have a look at the trade deficit as well. Thank you. Keep watching, keep learning.